Hey, what's up? It's day 13 of making a video every day. I don't really have anything planned for today, so it's going to be a shorter video. Just thought I would kind of go off the top of my head and yeah, go from there. This is kind of an experiment I'm doing for myself. The goal is to make a video every day for a year and just see what happens. So, that's the purpose of this channel. It's kind of for documenting what I'm learning on a day-to-day basis and just things I'm interested in, and hopefully you get some value from it. But today is one of those days where I just really did not want to make a video. I was doing a bunch of stuff from learning the lighting setup for how to set up the videos, make it look a little better. By the way, let me know what you think about the backlights here. Do you like them teal or do you like them more of an amber? Or more of this color? Or even just like a bright white? Let me know what you guys like best in the comments below. Right now I've just been liking the teal, so I'm going to stick with these for the rest of the video. But yeah, I guess this kind of just takes you into just showing up every day, taking imperfect action, even if you don't really feel like it. I'm really just on the same journey as everyone else here, just trying to figure it out. Yeah, you can't control the results of things, but you can control the actions you take. So everyone says consistency is key, like hard to fail if you just show up every day, hard to beat the person that never quits and all this. So I truly believe this. If you are determined and genuinely just show up every day, try to get a little bit better, like 1% every day over a year is what, like 35 times better at the end of the year. So even at the end of this year, if I post a video a day and achieve my goal, that will be 35 times better. And this kind of goes into goal setting too. Like instead of setting goals where there's a tangible outcome, like let's say you have like a money outcome you want. I want to make like X amount of dollars a month. Or you have an outcome like, well, I want to lift this much weight in the gym for some exercise, like get like 315 bench press or a 225 bench press, right? Or I want to get like 100,000 subscribers or something like this. These are goals that are out of your control, right? You cannot control this happening for sure. The only thing you can control is the work you put in. This is something I've been thinking about, just reframing the goals in my mind as what is something that I'm capable of doing every day, right? I can't control how many subscribers I get or how many likes or anything like this, but I can control making a video every day. Even if it's not going to be the highest quality, if I'm a little tired or I don't feel like it, I can still put something out, and that's still taking a little bit of action to the goal, right? And some days it's not going to be like your best work, and that's fine. Not every workout's going to be your best workout. Not every sales call is going to be your best sales call. This is just part of the process, but just showing up and not quitting is half the battle as well on some of these days. Or instead of making your goal X amount of money, what are the inputs you need to take in for whatever job or business you're in to get there? Kind of thinking about things from a cause and effect type of angle. So that was one kind of big paradigm shift for me about goal setting and just making sure you're setting them for the inputs you put in rather than the results you want from it. There's this saying I really like that the person who loves walking will always walk farther than the person who loves the destination. So find ways to make the process fun for yourself. I genuinely enjoy making videos. I think it's fun, and I'm hopefully adding value to some people out there, even if I'm just helping one person. Like my archetype, I guess, is like a 10-year younger version of myself, or like an 5-year younger version of myself. Like someone who's like 18, 19, and just kind of going in the world right now, starting off at university or going to start their own business, and just all the hurdles and different things you need to think about and consider nowadays. But if you made it to the end of this video, I'll leave you with one paradigm shift that really helped me, since I appreciate you watching it and making this far. So, about judgment. A lot of times the thing that stops people from doing what they want to do is the judgment of other people. To be seen as cringe, right? But if you think about it, everything is really cringe to someone else. For instance, you can take things to the most extreme example, and then someone will still think it's cringe. Like, think of working out, take this to the most extreme. Well, you get bodybuilding, right? Then what is bodybuilding? Okay, it's guys competing on stage showing off their bodies. Then someone could be like, "Oh, well, that's cringe that you're like naked on stage, like showing off how you look." Or another example, let's take like a Navy SEAL or a SAS soldier, the most like deadly people in the world, right? Like deadly killers, highly trained, and then there'll be someone else who's saying, "Oh, well, that's cringe because you're just listening to someone else's orders and dying for someone else to just tell you what to do." Or if you're really successful in business, the most successful people help the most people because that's the most amount of people or a small amount of people paying them like a lot of money, right? So then you have someone else saying, "Oh, well, that's cringe because you're just doing stuff for other people all day. You have no time for yourself to do what you want." So for whatever you choose, there's always going to be someone on the other side of that who's going to say, "Oh, that's cringe," or have something against what you're doing. And a lot of times, judgment is a mirror as well. Take the example of cold calling. Let's say you wanted to cold call people for your business to get more clients, but then every time you get a cold call, you're like, "Oh, another person, spammer, just wasting my time, scammer," something like this. Then every time you're going to cold call someone else, you're going to have this preconceived notion in your mind that, "Oh, they're just going to think I'm a scammer, I'm this, that, all these negative things," because that's what you believe to be true, but other people doing it to you. Or for girls, what I noticed is the girls who care the most about their looks, or who are always going out and kind of criticizing like other girls on how they look, like, "Oh wow, like she has like so much makeup on," or she's like really like doing all this and that. A lot of times it comes down to them just being insecure about like some aspect about that for themselves. I'm probably not explaining this the best, so I searched up some examples here. So one example is like the lazy colleague. You find yourself intensely annoyed by another coworker who takes a long lunch and rarely seems stressed, labeling them as lazy. The mirror is that if you look deeper, you realize that you judge yourself harshly for taking breaks because you believe that your worth depends on how productive you are, how much work you get done. So you're judging them for having basically the ability to rest and denying yourself it. Or judging someone that's too loud. So you have a friend that's very loud. So loud behavior, and you see the loud behavior as embarrassing. So the mirror is, so you have made yourself like not a loud person because you see this as a negative thing. And this is why you feel annoyance towards this person. And this isn't a 100% thing all the time, but something good to consider, especially if you have like one of the main ones for a lot of people, which is like a fear of failure or a fear of judgment of other people, are two of the biggest ones that I've seen. So a lot of this just comes down to, your own perspectives and beliefs about how the world works. If you're judging everyone else who's making content and videos, then when you make some videos, you're going to feel like everyone's going to be judging you. When in reality, most people are in their own world and, maybe they'll think about it for 2 seconds, then stop caring about whatever you're doing, right? Maybe you'll have like 5 or 10 people watch this video on the internet and then it just disappears into the void, right? It's often less about the actual mistake or actually failing because obviously you got to fail to be able to learn and improve, but a lot of the times it's how other people see the failure on you because you have a high standard that you hold yourself to, right? So the fear is more about you being seen as a failure by other people. So this creates a loop where you judge others for failing for their stuff, and then you feel the same vulnerability yourself if you are putting yourself out there to potentially fail. So it's like judging other people for failing in the past is like reinforcing the rule for yourself as making it unacceptable. So your external judgment is a reflection of your internal critique, right? Because you were so critical of other slip ups, you assume everyone else is just as critical about yours. So you become paralyzed by the potential for public failure because you made it as a shameful thing in your own mind, right? And this is the last one I'll leave you with. Using perfectionism as a shield. So people who may be perfectionists, it may not actually be about high standards, but actually about avoiding judgment. So the mirror is you might judge people who are messy or unprepared because you use the extreme preparation as a shield to ensure no one can ever call you a failure. But the conflict is when you see someone else failing comfortably, like trying and not working, it triggers you because they're doing the very thing that you spent your whole life trying to, but avoiding through kind of self-handicapping or overwork, over planning. And this just goes into making all the plans, doing all the groundwork before you actually start taking action. So I'll end on that. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And take consistent action on your main thing and don't stop. Peace.